Hi everybody, and welcome to yoga today. I noticed on the list of people who are attending that there's some people who haven't been to class or had videos for a while. So what I've decided today is that I designed a practice that's simple but really thorough, so even the experienced yogis among us will enjoy it. And it's designed that you could, if you wanted to, get out of bed and step on the mat and get right into your body. You could do it any time of the day, but it will warm you up really thoroughly. So you could start from just early in the morning if you wanted to. Okay, you won't need anything really except your mat, anything you'd like to sit on. And if you do like bricks, we will be doing some lunge work. So if you like to put your hands on bricks while you're doing lunges, then just grab a couple of those as well. Okay, let's begin just by coming into your comfortable seated posture. And just give yourself those few moments to settle. And you're just noticing what's going on, noticing if there's any niggles anywhere in hips, knees, low back, neck, wherever. Just really start to explore what's going on in there. And then when you're ready, close your eyes, or if you're not comfortable with that, you can just defocus or even just lower your eyelids about halfway, but just find that place where you don't have a lot of outside distraction, and it'll take you in just a little step further into that really astute mindfulness. And then the next time you inhale, if everyone will just raise their shoulders really close up to their ears, and hold for just a moment. And then on the exhale, just let your shoulders drop. And then again, in your inhale, you're really going to scrunch those shoulders way up towards your ears and hold. And then release down when you exhale. And then one more time, bring those shoulders up, up, up towards your ears. And then exhale, a nice sounding sigh, and just drop those shoulders. And then begin to really focus more on your breathing so that the next time you inhale, you're following the breath with your awareness, right in through the nostrils and right down into the lungs, into the chest, and maybe you can inhale long enough to take that breath right into the belly. And then when you exhale, it's going out in the reverse direction, just going up and then out. And so it really helps you to hone your mindfulness to be able to follow the breath like that. And even for people who can't meditate or find it difficult to meditate, this is a form of meditation. So it really draws your awareness to the breath, and it gives you your mind something to focus on, as well as really bringing you into body awareness. So there's lots of benefits. So really take these few moments in the beginning with this practice. So as you're inhaling, you're just noticing the breath coming into the body. And you start to really explore this and notice the three-dimensional quality of your breath. Just take the breath in as fully as you can. There's no struggling. So when you're ready to stop inhaling, just let that happen, and then let the breath come, exhale, the stillness, exhale out naturally. And you're just following the line of your breath with your awareness. And as you continue to do that, just line up get the alignment in your body so that it's, I like to think of an imaginary line from my pelvic floor all the way to the crown of the head. So see if that helps you. And let's have 3 more breaths just like this with your full awareness. And as you let go of that last exhale, you're going to continue to breathe like this, but now you're going to open your eyes and you're just going to let the arms come to the sides of the body so you can inhale next and have a really big stretch up. And just feel any tightness that might be in the body as you try to extend as much as you can. And maybe even move a little bit. I call this fruit picking, side to side, where one arm and one side of the body comes up a little higher and then the other. Just really lets you see what's going on. You're still breathing. Long, slow breaths. And then the next time you inhale, both arms just come up and you try to extend. Just let the chin drop a little bit. And as you exhale, palms lead the way. You come out in a big semicircle with the arms and let the hands rest right in front of the heart. Namaste. And then we're going to come to all fours for just a moment. You're going to take anything that you're sitting on out of the way. Let's go ahead and come into now a wide-kneed extended child's pose. So big toes can be together, knees are nice and wide. When you come down, put your elbows on the floor and your hands can be interlocked or just pressed together like prayer hands. But the idea is to try to wiggle those elbows a little away from the groins, away from the thighs, and try to find a point where you really feel a bit of a stretch through the spine and through the torso, through the low back. And then you're going to try to release downward your heart. You will feel this stretch. If you want to interlock your hands, you can. I just want you to be here for just a couple more breaths and really feel what's happening. And you might need to wiggle those elbows a little further away as the body gets used to the stretch. If you feel tight, just allow gravity to assist you in just letting the body go a little bit here, letting the body stretch as much as it can. And then slowly you're going to just keep the body, keep the hips and legs where they are. You're going to move the arms out and really stretch those arms forward, fingertips down. And it changes the stretch a little bit. Just notice as you really point those finger points downward to the floor, you're feeling the stretch probably more in your arms. But see if you can extend the stretch into your spine all the way down to your sacrum. So as you press into the finger points, feel that. And then let the tailbone go away from that crown of the head a little bit. Very nice. Just feel the stretch. Any little movement, like maybe a little more pressure on one side of the hand. And then the other as you press down a little bit. Just feel everything that you're experiencing right now in this minor little stretch. And then on the next inhale, get as long as you can. And on the exhale, you're moving those arms right over to the right. Try to keep the hips where they are. And then it's just another little side stretch. So exhale, let gravity do a little work. Do your work for you as you surrender the weight of your body. So the chest will come a little more towards the floor. Just feel that stretch in the left side of the body. Maybe look just a little bit towards the left upper arm. Just feel that lovely stretch. Then on the inhale, you're righting your gaze to center and coming with the arms back to center. And on the next exhale, you're going to take it over to the left now. And release down as you exhale into just surrender your body weight as much as it will go. Let the head relax for a moment. Chest is probably coming just minutely closer to the floor. Now use your breath to help. As you inhale, you might want to gaze now towards your right upper arm. And you'll start to feel the stretch more in your right side body the more you can surrender to your weight to the floor, towards the floor. Nice long slow breaths. And then on an inhale, you're just going to look forward just a little bit and bring the arms to center. One last stretch, lovely, and then press into the shins, press into the tops of your feet, and come on up. Come into tabletop position. Just align the body as you know how to do. And just have a nice little cat-cow sequence on your own breath. You know this one so well. So you're just inhaling and moving the heart forward, spine, or rather tailbone upward as your gaze goes up, and as you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, chin towards your chest. And just have a few breaths like that. Just aligning the movement right with your breath as you know how to do. Very nice. If anything you want to add to this, I call it free flow cat-cow or pranic cat-cow. By that I mean you might want to just bring a little bit of the left side of your chest more forward on the inhales or even on the exhales, and just see what happens as you just move the spine a little bit organically. Just a couple breaths like that. And then align back into your neutral tabletop. And as you exhale, sink the hips to the heels, elbows can touch the floor. Release your head, release the low back. As you inhale, you're coming back up, pressing into the inner hands and broadening those collarbones. And as you exhale, you're sinking back, hips towards the heels, elbows to the floor. Remember to release your low back and your neck. As you inhale, reaching forward with or pressing into the shins, coming forward, and just lifting the heart a little bit. Find those inner hands. As you exhale, let's segue into a side twist. So as you exhale with that nice upright sternum, you're going over to the right as you turn, and the hips are coming to the right as well. As you inhale, back to center, a little lift in the heart. As you exhale, looking to the left, and the hips come to the left. Inhaling to center. And let's just do this a couple times on your own breath. So as you exhale, you're sinking back down. Let the breath be slow so you can really get into the movement and release at the end point. So the back relaxes, the neck relaxes, so that when you inhale, it's a fresh movement, coming back up, lifting your heart. As you exhale, look over to the right, and hips come out to the right. As you inhale, back to center, a little rise in your heart. As you exhale, looking over to the left, hips come to the left. Inhale to center, and exhale, sink your hips back, right down towards the heels. Release all the weight. Release all the effort just for that breath, and then inhale. Come back up freshly. Exhale, little twist to the side on the right. Lifting the heart and broadening the collarbones as you inhale to center, and exhale over to the left. Inhale to the right, to the center, and exhale. Let's go ahead and sink down one more time. Now, if you can rest your forehead on the floor, do that now, and go ahead and bring your arms back. Just swim your arms back, interlock your hands just behind your low back. Just be here for a breath so that the body releases down as much as it can. When you inhale, press into your shins and the tops of your feet, and make sure you're coming up with core strength. You don't have a lot of weight on your head, but you're trying to bring the weight into the knees, and you can feel weight on the crown of the head just slightly, but there's almost no weight in your neck. And then if all that's well, stretch your arms back. If you're feeling too much weight in your neck, please come back down with hips towards the heels. And slowly you're coming, leave the arms where they are, but start to roll more onto the forehead. But the weight is, your core is strong, and the weight is really in your legs here. It's not in your neck. And once your hips are back towards your heels, sink those arms down. Fingertips slowly come towards the shoulders and you raise yourself back up. Very nice. And come from here, bring your hands at one hand length further ahead than your shoulders so we can come into a downward facing dog, flexing the toes under. Push the floor away with the roots of your fingers. Remember the weight's more onto the inner hands. And you come back into your downward facing dog. And just feel any little obstacle you're feeling in the body. So if this is your first downward facing dog in a while, you might feel tight in the legs. Remember that if you've got tight hamstrings, what's going to happen if you try to straighten those knees is your back is going to round. You don't want that. The spine has priority with the length. So I really want you to feel, if you need to bend your knees, please do that. What you want to feel as you push the floor away, you want to feel length in the spine. You want to feel your neck relaxed. So you're looking right back at your own knees, and the spine is really long. Arms might be really long as well, and that's great. The legs may come last. If you've got the flexibility in your hamstrings, you may or may not be able to stretch or extend your knees. Okay. From this position, let's go ahead and inhale, knees to the floor. Little rise in the heart, which is our cow position. As you exhale, come on into extended child's pose. As you inhale, you're coming back into the cow position where the tailbone lifts and the heart lifts. As you exhale, into the downward facing dog again. Nice and slow vinyasa here. As you inhale, it's going to be the cow position. This time as you exhale, it's going to be the extended pose of a child. And just really take that to the end point. As you inhale into the cow position. And as you exhale into the downward facing dog position. Just do this a couple more times on your own breathing, and just realize that, of course, on the inhale, you're always doing the cow pose. On the exhales, you're alternating between extended child's pose and downward facing dog. So just keep going on the rhythm of your own breath and try to go as inward as you can. It's the most simple vinyasas that I think do the most benefit to the body. They really align breath and movement, and they really align mind and body. Lovely. And the next time you inhale, go ahead and just come to your knees. And from this position, tuck the toes under, and can you come into a kneeling position? Now, if you can't, there's no worries whatsoever, but you're trying to get those toes all tucked under. Come into a position where you can really give those feet a little bit of a stretch, okay? If you need to come in and out of the pose, feel free, but if you can stay here for 3 or 4 full breaths, please do that. Very good. And then let's go ahead and come on out. And from the tabletop position, we're going to do just a little lunge sequence. So this is where if you would like, if you could benefit from bricks, have those beside you. And let's make it really simple. Let's come into our low lunge first. Just bring your right foot forward. And again, if you need that little bringing the floor closer with the bricks, please do that. I want you to really feel the back leg lined up. So the kneecap's on the floor, so you might need some padding. But what I don't want is the back foot to be twisted in any way. So make sure you're feeling the floor right at the center of the back of that foot, or the top of that foot it would be, but make sure it's right, it's centered. And then maybe just feel that for just a moment. Make sure the pelvis is aligned, and then maybe you can come up into a more high or high kneeling position. If you can do that, you might want to interlock your hands right behind the front knee, but I want you to press into the knee, and as you do that, get a little taller in the torso. And can you feel that little sort of consequence, reverberation, or that little stretch right in the very front of that left groin as you do that? That's okay. You can reach the arms up, and I want you to feel this slowly so you see what's happening. And then reach a little further on your next inhale as you press into that back knee. And then slowly exhale, bringing those arms down, back into the low lunge. Tuck those toes under, and let's come up into a high lunge. So you may or may not want the bricks. It's up to you. If you've got them, you can use them. If you don't have them, you might need to come up onto your knuckles. What I want you to do is first perfect your high lunge where you really feel long from the crown of your head all the way down your spine and all the way down that back leg. Can you feel that before we continue on? Very nice. And from this high lunge position, slowly exhale. Push the floor away with your hands or push onto the bricks or the floor and start to segue into pyramid pose. So you're extending the front leg. And as good as you can, you're just trying to release your torso over that extended leg. Make sure the head and neck is relaxed. And then as you inhale, you're coming back. Make sure you perfect the movements first. And then just flow with your breath in and out. As you exhale into the pyramid pose, you're trying to straighten that front leg as much as you can, but you're trying to release the torso over that leg as much as you can as well. Feel the weight in the ball of the back foot. So let that calf stretch in the back as well. Really make this count. As you inhale, come back into your high lunge. Lift your heart, look forward slightly. And as you exhale, right back into the pyramid position. And then inhaling back into your high lunge. If all feels well here, all is as it should be, you might be able to come into a little twist here. So let's go ahead and put the weight more into the left hand. The weight is still evenly in the front foot and the back foot. And then you can inhale, reach that arm, the right arm out to the side and up. And just have a couple breaths there. Lovely. And then exhale, release the right arm down. Very good. And let's just come into a downward facing dog and stretch out here in between. So you're exhaling that right leg back and release. Just a few breaths into that downward facing dog. And just very mindfully, let's go ahead and really press more weight into the left foot. Maybe that left heel comes a little closer to the floor. Try to keep the weight evenly in the arms and the hands. You're just pressing a little more into the left foot, feeling stretch in the left calf. And then let's change. So you're going to do the same thing with the right foot. Feel the right heel coming closer to the floor. Very good. And let's come back to your classic downward facing dog. And knees to the floor. And then bring your left foot forward. So we're into the low lunge now with left foot forward. And just feel that. Line it up. Make sure that back foot is nice and level. The top of the foot is level on the floor. When all is well, go ahead and come up with your interlocked hands into a higher lunge and feel the back knee press a little more into the floor as you lengthen through your torso. If everything is okay, you can inhale next and reach up. Get really long through the torso, but feel that back knee pressing into the floor so that the front of your right groin is starting to stretch a little more. And then exhale, release down. Very good. And let's come into the high lunge now as you're ready. Flex those back toes under, come into your high lunge. Line yourself up. So what you want to feel is a long line, remember, from the crown of the head all the way down the spine, all the way down the back leg. When you've got that happening, then you can start your vinyasa as you exhale. Coming into the pyramid pose. Once you get into the pyramid pose, what I want you to try to do, feel the weight in the ball of the back foot, and just a little bit, feel as though you're bringing this left hip just back in alignment with the right hip, the back hip, just a little more. Very good. As you inhale, come into the high lunge, look forward. As you exhale, into the pyramid pose. So on your own breath, just go with this nice long flowing breaths. Lovely. The next time you've inhaled into your lunge, prepare yourself so that on the exhale you can come back into downward facing dog. Very good. Let your head and neck relax. So just nod your head so you make sure you're not carrying tension in your neck. And then from your downward facing dog, let's widen your feet and come closer to your hands. Just have that little spinal stretch where you're bringing your hands a little closer together. If you need to bring them closer to your feet, feel free. What you want is to really be able to root your weight through your heels and let your spine relax. It's almost like a wide angle forward bend. So just feel that long, slow breaths and just let this low back release as much as it can. Bend the knees generously. And then just place your one elbow at a time on top of those knees. We're all going to come up to standing from here. And then as you come to standing, just come right into your mountain pose. If you need any movement before you do that, of course it's fine, but we're all going to end up into our Tadasana. Looking down in your Tadasana, make sure the toes are all pointing forward. Make sure you can press into those feet and you feel the weight behind the under the big toe, little toe, and the heel. That is important as you press into that little triangular area. Notice your legs can get stronger and you can get taller and more extension in the spine against that sort of foundation. So find that. Very good. And then let's just begin to breathe, keeping all of that Tadasana in place as you do the Vinyasa with the breath in the arms. As you inhale, you're breathing up. Finding length. So as you come to the top, you're really pushing the finger points upward as you press into the heels and feet a little more. So find that little extra length at the top. And as you exhale, leading with the hands, you just let those arms come down as you exhale. Let's just do this a couple more times. As you inhale, you're breathing up. Finding the length at the top. And then you're exhaling, releasing down. The next time you breathe the arms down, you'll stay there for just a moment. We're going to continue a Vinyasa just a little differently, so that the next time you inhale, you're just breathing the arms straight up in front, finding that length. As you exhale, you're bending the knees, and just from the waist up, you're turning to the right. Arms are front to back. And then you're inhaling back to center. Find the length. As you exhale, right over to the left. Remember, you're bending the knees and just twisting from the waist up. Arms are front to back. As you inhale back to center. As you exhale, you're lowering the arms out to the sides. Just 2 more times like that. As you inhale, breathe the arms up. As you exhale, a little twist over to the right, arms front to back. Look back if you can. As you inhale, raise the arms up over the head. And as you exhale, you're twisting to the left. Inhale, Rising the arms up, finding the extension, and then exhale, releasing everything. Last time, as you inhale, raise the arms up, finding the length, find those heels pressing into the floor. As you exhale, twist to the right. Broaden that chest as much as you can out towards the right. As you inhale, reaching up, finding length. As you exhale, over to the left. Inhale to center. And exhale, just release and let go. And then stand slowly right to the very top of your mat. Your arm, or rather your legs, are a bit wider than your usual Tadasana. And just place your hands to the heart. As you inhale, shift weight to the left foot and just raise that right knee as if it's connected to a little marionette string. And find your balance. When you really feel stable there, on the exhale, just step back as long as you can. Bend the knee, the front knee just a little bit, and then inhale, raise those arms up over your head and feel the length in the torso, but also even feel the lengthening right at the very top of that back groin. And slowly as you exhale, can you swim those arms back? Interlock your hands just behind. And as you inhale, roll those shoulders up, back and down, and really broaden the chest. If you can, you might be able to press the knuckles out a little bit. Very good. And then as you exhale next, leading from the core, so the core is engaged, I want you to pivot on the ball of the foot on the exhale and come into a little bit of a side angle pose. You might need to wiggle and realign your feet just a little bit, but just really find your pose here where you're at a distinct wide or side angle pose. And then maybe when you inhale, you can bring the arms long and strong again and just widen your chest out to the right. Just have a couple breaths here and feel the weight into the whole of your back foot, all the way to the little toe side. And slowly, this takes real control. On an exhale, again, leading with the core. So the core is engaged. You're trying to move back into the starting position. And then release the arms. Bring the arms up over your head. Very good. And then exhale. Hands to the heart. Couple little steps all the way back forward again. Coming back into that nice strong Tadasana with slightly wider feet. And this time you're going to just feel your weight shift a little more to the right leg. And when you're ready, you're just going to raise that left knee. Really feel solid though in the right side of the body, so that you want to feel even the right gluteal muscle is contracting and you're pressing into the right foot as you raise that left foot off the ground. So there's no lightness in the right foot. The muscles that are doing the work are from your gluteal muscles down, but it does include your core. Lovely. And when you're ready, you're going to step back with that left foot and find the position in your warrior one. So if you need to wiggle your feet at all, please feel free to do that. When you're ready and stable, you're going to inhale right up into a strong warrior one. Remember, you want to feel the extension in the torso and the length in the front of that back groin. How do you do that? You've got to really be focused with the weight in the feet, particularly in the ball of that back foot. When you're ready, you're going to swim those arms back. Interlock your hands behind your hips. Inhale, open up by rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Open up in the chest. And with control now, when you're ready, we're going to open up into a side angle. So you want to have your core engaged and just slowly transition onto the ball of the back foot. You might need to wiggle around a little bit with the front foot as well. But you find that position where it starts to feel safe and stable. And once you find it, then you can inhale and straighten those arms behind you a little bit if they're able to do that. Come into the side angle to the best of your ability. And just have a little look. Now, if that top shoulder is trying to curl inward, you do want to roll it back. So this upper chest is really nice and open here. Nice, long, slow breaths. And then we're going to, when you're ready, we're going to slowly transition out, back into the starting warrior one. So you must have your core engaged to do this with integrity to the body. Once you've come back, you can let the arms release and raise those arms over the head. To come out, you're going to slowly bring the hands to the heart. And you're going to use a couple of steps to come back forward again. Nice, long, slow breaths. And then release. And let's go ahead and just have a little chair pose now. So coming into your Tadasana, as you inhale, the arms go straight up. As you exhale, you're going to bend the knees. Really take your time here and find your really strong chair pose. So by that, what I mean is you may have to, as you come down and find the stopping point, maybe in the heel or the Achilles tendon, you can actually diagonally come forward and you might be able to come down a little bit more. When you come forward, remember you want to leave this length in the front of the body. Feel the weight in the heels. In fact, you could just lift up on those toes if you wanted to. And come down just as low as you can. So you're really challenging your leg strength. And you feel the core working. And all of this is working just to keep the arms upright. So your heart is already working really hard just doing this. Very good. From this chair position, keeping the legs as they are, exhale and swim the arms back. Interlock behind your hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, back and down. Look forward as you exhale. Can you just fold your tummy right over your thighs? Just release with your breath as much as you can. Only if the body allows you to do this, you might want to try to have a last little stretch by bringing the arms straight up towards the ceiling. And releasing tummy as much as you can towards those folded thighs. And come up with strength. Lean your weight a little more back into your heels. Look forward slightly with the heart. Bring your hands and arms back. And then gently place your hands to your hips as you come up with strength in your legs. Release into your mountain pose. And just lower your eyes and have a few breaths here. And just come right back to that really long, slow breath that you had in the very beginning. If you've lost it, just find that again. And then we'll all slowly come to the floor from here. So let's come on back down to the floor. And let's go ahead and come onto our backs now. So feel yourself coming right on to the back. Oh, and just let yourself sink. Let that feel really good. That sensation of just coming into your last cooling phase of your yoga practice. And in this reclined position, just let the body sink for just a moment. Just get in touch with the breath again from that transition you've just done. And then bring the right knee closer in towards the body. Interlock your hands there. And just feel yourself righting the body in its right alignment so that you feel the back of the left heel on the floor. If you can stretch the leg out, otherwise you're going to feel the left sole of the foot on the floor. Okay? And then just have a few breaths here as you're exhaling. You know what to do. You're bringing that right thigh closer into the body. But you're also noticing all the sensations caused by that little movement. So have a couple more breaths like that. And then with mindfulness, let's just change legs so that you're either stretching out the right leg now, or of course the right knee is bent and the sole of the foot is on the floor. Your choice. Few breaths. It's on the exhale phase that you're trying to encourage the left thigh closer in towards the body. Very good. And after there's 3 or 4 breaths, place both feet on the floor. Widen your feet. Widen your knees a little bit. Arms relax to the sides of the body, and you try to tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. And on the exhales, let both knees go over to the right. And as you do that, press a little more, just a little more focus on the big toe side of the left foot. And then on the inhale, you're coming up. On the exhale, you're going over with knees towards the left. And this time you're just a little more rooted down with the big toe side of the right foot. And just feel what that does to the hip joint. You might feel a little sensation there. Inhaling to center, just like that. Over to one side. On the exhales, and inhaling to the center. Just let the breath flow really deeply in and out. Lovely. And when you've done an even amount on both sides and you feel complete with that, you're going to just walk your feet a little closer together again. And once that happens, you're going to bring both knees in towards the chest. Let's just have a little happy baby here. So you're going to separate the thighs. And from here, keeping the knees nice and close in, or as close in as you can towards the body, you're going to raise the shins and feet. Remember, you're going to try to clasp somewhere around the outside of your ankle, or possibly you could even clasp on the little toe side of your feet. And just remember, your object is broadening your low back. So every time you exhale, you want to just encourage those knees just a millimeter closer to the floor. Feet are flexed. And you can release the effort as you inhale. Exhaling, just feeling the knees trying to come closer to the floor. And just let your breath slow down here. You want to allow yourself 4 or 5 slow breaths in this happy baby pose. And again, when you've had enough, you're going to shift, and this time again, the left leg's going to be extended and the right sole of the foot is on the floor. Bring the arms out to shoulder height. We're going to have a really easy twist from here. So all you're going to do on the exhale is just bring the right leg over across the midline of the body and just start to feel that little movement, that little effort in the lumbar spine. And then release. And change sides. And this time as you exhale, you're just going over to the other side. Remember, you're trying to keep your shoulder blades anchored to the floor. So just do the best you can with this and try to hold it for 2 or 3 breaths. Just getting the body used to that effort in a twist. Very good. And then bringing both knees closer in towards the body. We're going to have a little bit more of a twist here. So what you want is both thighs and knees really close together, and the arms are out to shoulder height to either side. So slowly on an exhale with a nice engaged abdominal core, you're going to start to bring those thighs, those glued together thighs, over to the left. Now, if this is really difficult and it just doesn't feel good, I'm going to show you a little option here. You can actually just roll all the way over, sort of like a side fetal position, and then open the upper body out as you inhale as much as you can. And for any of you who are having low back pain, this is probably your best and safest option. But if you, either way, you are your own guru, so you decide what really works for you. What you want to try to do is to get a little length in the torso once you are in the pose. So I like to wiggle around just a little bit once I get there. In this position, I'm not always able to totally anchor with my knees to the left. I'm not able to totally anchor my right shoulder blade to the floor, but that's what I'm working towards. That's what I'm letting my body sort of adapt to and stretch into. And I assist that by turning my head in the direction of that right arm. And just feel the sort of limited capacity to breathe. And that's what you want to push against just a little bit here. So when you inhale, just go ahead and press that breath in as best you can. It's your choice here. You want 3 to 5 breaths in this posture. And when you've had enough, just make sure the head's turned to center, and you do want to come out on an exhale so the tummy's a little engaged, and you can separate. The upper leg comes off first when you're coming out, and then you roll back to center. It's nice just to find a little reset just by maybe a little movement here. And then you want to reset completely by making sure knees are as close in as they can comfortably go towards the chest. And important is that the knees and thighs are really close together. Remember, it's your choice. Do you want to exhale and just let those 2 thighs together come over? Or do you want to just roll over to the left side? And then inhale, open out. So there's your choice. And your only task is to find what's really optimum for you today. So once you're there, find your position. And that's when you're just encouraging as much as you can that left shoulder towards the floor. Remember, it helps to look in the direction of your left arm. And just allow the breath to work its way into the body.
And again, 3 to 5 breaths, and you just get to choose to come out when you're ready. Head to center. On an exhale, let's lift the top leg. The bottom leg follows. A little movement here. And just before you come into your final rest, your Shavasana, I invite you to do any final little stretch that you'd like. Whatever feels good to you right now is absolutely the perfect thing. So just spend maybe half a minute, a little bit of stretch or another final pose. And then just let yourself come into Shavasana as you're ready. So in your Shavasana, just allowing the weight to settle towards the floor. So you just want to allow that lovely sense of heaviness. And as you surrender the weight to the floor, you might notice those little places in the body that might still have some residual tension. It's very sly, these little places. So just try to see if you can relax it with your own breathing. Remember, it's always best if you know you're tense somewhere to inhale and tighten that up even more. And then sometimes it lets go a little easier as you exhale. So just do that little internal sort of scan to see where you're tight. If you are, just notice the letting go and the surrendering. And once you get your body into that state where you know you're as relaxed as you can be, just start to focus now on the breathing. And for the next few breaths, you want to try to encourage the exhales to be a little longer than your inhales. And see if you can also focus on abdominal breath for the next few breaths. So it's a little dual effort. The exhales are a little bit longer than the inhales, and the inhales are coming into the abdominal area. So the next time you inhale, you feel the tummy rise up. And when you exhale, it's just a surrender. So you're not forcibly bringing the navel towards the spine. You're letting go. And just letting the exhale extend out as long as it can comfortably. When you inhale, it is a little more of an effort. You're actually trying to bring that tummy, the tummy button rises up, the tummy abdominal area puffs up when you inhale. And then when you exhale, it's just a release. So slightly different than your normal breathing pattern. You're releasing when you exhale. Just a couple more efforts like that when you inhale. Rise up in the tummy. Direct the breath right into the abdomen. And as you exhale, you're letting go and surrendering even more. Just have one last effort as you inhale. Inflate the tummy. And once it's there, hold. And then release as you exhale. Just extend that exhale out as long as you can comfortably do so. And then just let go of all control of your breathing. Just come into that natural, spontaneous breathing pattern that is yours alone. Just watch and observe your own breathing. And you just bring your attention back to the breath. Every time you feel like you're getting distracted, just bring it right back to your breath. So you're all just gently now coming up to a seated posture. Let's all just complete our practice by putting hands to the heart. Namaste. Thank you. See you in the next video.